In today's tutorial, I am going to walk us through how to make a recessed zipper panel like this. This is the front of the panel and this is what the back looks like. Now before we begin the tutorial, I would like us to know what a recessed zipper in bag making is. So AV crafters, what is a recessed zipper? A recessed zipper in bags is a type of zipper closure that is usually few inches into the bag. Okay, for a bag with a regular zipper top, you can see the zipper closure at the top of the bag just by looking at the bag from any angle. But for a recessed zipper, it isn't so, because you can only see the zipper closure when you look at the bag from the top. So you're literally looking into the bag in order to be able to see the zipper closure most times. Okay, so the zipper closure is recessed, which means it is going downwards into the bag. All right, so now you see those two panels that are holding the zipper tip at the middle. Those are what we are making today. Okay, we are going to learn how to make a recessed zipper panel. Let's begin, guys. On my work surface, I've got 4 panels. So I've got 2 main panels right there and 2 lining panels. The zipper tape is cut to the length that I want, and we also have my zipper pull. Now this is not a size 5 zipper tape and zipper pull, this is more than a size 5, but for today's tutorial let us stick with that. Now the zipper tape is cut to about 3.5 inch more than the actual panels. It is better off to have excess zipper tape, and the width and the height of the panels depends on what you're working on or how you want the panel to behave, or whichever pattern you're working on, or what is in the pattern you're working on. Okay, also guys, I added interfacing, soft woven interfacing to all of my panels, both the lining panels and the main fabric. All 4 panels, I like to have all the panels stabilized. I tend to use cotton. I use cotton a lot, and it's sometimes the cottons can be very light and they tend to fray a lot. For instance, this black material I am using for lining, it frays a lot and it is very light. So I like to have all my panels stabilized. Okay, now if you're not using cotton, if you're using vinyl or faux leather or cork or so, you can cut Decovil light, use Decovil light on the main panel alone, but you want to make sure that you're keeping it out of your seam allowance on all 4 sides. So the Decovil light is only at the center of the main panel. So I'm going to start working with one of my main panels, and on the bottom of the main panel I have a line that is 1 inch up. So this is the line that we are working with. This is 1/2 inch. This is the center line. So this line right here is the line we are working with. Now I am going to flip the bottom of the panel upwards to meet that line. So now I have a fold of 1/2 inch, and I am going to press. But if you do not want to press, you can use double-sided tape or glue to hold this in place. So that is done. This is what we've got. I have also done the same to the other side. So we want to make sure that both of them align, both of them have the same length, because they are going to be side by side. We don't want anyone to be longer than the other, and even if it's longer it shouldn't be so obvious. Alright, I didn't do anything to the lining panels. So now I am going to take them right sides touching each other. So lining panels and main panels, right side touching each other like so, and I am going to sew down on the unfolded edge 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch inwards from the unfolded edge, 1/2 inch inwards, or with whatever seam allowance you added to your panels. So here they are, sewn and ready to go. I am not using a matching thread because this is just for practical purpose. I am not using it on any bag, but you should use a matching shirt. Okay, so main panel and lining panel sewn, ready to go. So now that we've got that done, what I am going to do next is that I am going to fold the lining panels. So as you can see, for this lining panel it turned out smaller, and for this it turned out longer. So I am going to fold up my lining panels like so, so that, oh, you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to fold up like so, so that we are not able to see the lining panel from the main panel. Okay, so I am going to fold that up, and I am going to iron in place. You can use double-sided tape to hold it in place, or you can use your glue to set it in place. But whatever it is you do, you want to make sure that you are not able to see the lining panel from the main panel. Okay, I am going to do that to the second side. Now my panels are folded and sewn. Okay, so you want to make sure that the lining panels and the main panels at the end of the day measure at least the same thing, and even if they are off, it shouldn't be super duper obvious. I am going to keep these panels aside, and I am going to work on my zipper. First off, I am going to insert the zipper pole into the zipper tape so that we have that in place. Now, if you do not know how to insert a zipper pole into a zipper tape, please watch closely. Okay, so first off, I am going to insert one end of the zipper tape into the zipper pole like so. Please, it should not go all the way. You do not want it to go all the way through. Just halfway is enough. Right now, I'm going to flip the pull tab out of the way, and I'm going to insert the other side so that it meets the other zipper tape. So both zipper tapes are halfway. Both sides of my zipper tapes are halfway. All right, now I'm going to lay the zipper pole or the zipper tape flat on the table on my work surface, and I am going to push the zipper head into the zipper tape so it goes through. All right, it's not difficult at all. I'm going to mark a straight line, and I am going to trim my zipper tape on that line. So now we have a straight end to work with. Okay, now I am going to measure from that end. I am going to go down by 1 inch. You can go down by 0.75, that is 3/4 if you want, but I am going to go down by 1 inch. I prefer the whole number. So this is it. We've got 1 inch. I am going to open this up like so. Yep. I'm going to open this up, and I am going to fold the zipper tape to the wrong side. So I am going to fold this to the wrong side, and I am going to bring it back up. So once again, fold to the wrong side like so, then you twist, turn, and bring it back up. I'm going to use my pin to hold this in place. So you should have a nice 90-degree angle, and they should align. Okay, so the zipper tape, the fold is against the zipper teeth, as you can see, and we have like a 45-degree angle. This is black, so it may not show. We have like a 45-degree angle fold here. Now you can use your needle and thread to hold this in place. I am going to use my needle and thread to hold this in place, or you can decide to go to the sewing machine and baste this in place. But you want to make sure that you have at least a nice 90-degree, and you want to make sure that they align. I have gone ahead to do a basting stitch at this point. This will prevent my zipper head from flying out of place. Now I have placed this the way it is going to be. Let me show you all an example. So this is how it is going to be. It is panel, zipper, and panel. Okay, so I have done the same thing here: panel, zipper, and panel. So I am just placing it the way it is supposed to be on the bag. Okay, so I am going to start working with them one at a time. I am going to put this aside and I am going to start working with this. So I have already gone down from the center seam right here. I went down by 1/4 inch. Don't know if you guys can see that. So this is 0.25. Remember, it is like this. So this end, this side is what I am going to be putting on this side. Okay, so I am going to take this side and I am going to flip it to the wrong side, so it's wrong side facing me, and I am going to attach the head on that line and I am going to place it straight down like so. Okay, so the zipper is literally right side touching the right side of the main panel. Now at this point you can use a glue to hold it down. You can use glue, you can use double-sided tape or pins, whichever one you prefer to use. I am going to go for double-sided tape. So my double-sided tape has been attached. I am going to place my zipper. So you want to make sure that the head is on that line. You want the 1/4 line, and you want to make sure that you are not stretching the zipper. Okay, so do not stretch. So this is it. Flip the lining panel back. So the lining panel is on the wrong side of the zipper, and I am going to sew with a seam allowance of 3/8. So this is 3/8 right here for those of us who do not know. And that is my stitching allowance for this part. I am here at my sewing machine and I have changed my regular foot to my zipper foot. Okay, so I am going to start from the folded end because it is flat and it is easy to navigate, unlike this part where we have the bump. Okay, now the edge of my zipper foot is going to be towards the edge of my panels. All right, remember, if there's anything you do not understand, feel free to ask me questions. All right, now I am not starting directly at the end of the panels. I am going forward a bit so that the thread doesn't get swallowed. Okay, so I am going to do a couple of stitches, then I am going to go back. You want to make sure that you are not sewing on the zipper tape. Okay, you want to make sure that your stitches start and stop on the panels. I don't know if you guys observed what I did, but yeah. And you want to make sure you are using a matching thread. I am not using a matching thread because this is just for practical purposes, but you want to use a matching thread both for the bobbin and the main panel. Now at this point where we have the bump, you want to use a Gina Magic or a Hump jumper if you have one, and if you do not have one, you should improvise. Okay, so I am going to improvise. I am going to take my rag and I am going to turn it into a Hump jumper. So I just folded the material 4 times and it is thick enough for me, and I am going to use my low budget Gina Magic so that we do not have skip stitches. Whenever you're adjusting, you want to make sure that your needle is down. You want to make sure that it is inside your project so it doesn't move out of place. This is what I was talking about. You want to sew to the edge but not all the way to the point where it lands on the zipper itself. Okay, so I am done sewing. I have sewn all the way. Can you see where my stitches stopped? So now what I am going to do is that I am going to go back to my work surface and we are going to continue. I am back on my work surface. I apologize for the background noise. First off, I am going to trim the seam allowance to half its size, or more than half its size, and I am going to trim away the excess zipper tape that we've got here. This is done. What I am going to do now is that I am going to press. So I am going to press this open like so, and I am going to press this open like so, and I am going to flip this open. Now before I do so, I am going to cut off this corner so that we have a sharp and nice corner when we turn this side right out. I am done with this side and this is what I've got. I am going to repeat the same thing to the other side. So remember, this was what we had, right? I am going to mark 1/4 inch downwards from the center like so. This is a 1/4 inch downwards. I am going to take my double-sided tape, and I want you to notice that I am not adding the double-sided tape all the way to the end. All right. So it was like this, right? Oops. So now I am going to take my zipper tape and I am going to flip it the same way we did with the first one. I'm going to put the zipper tape right on that line, and I am going to align the edge of the zipper tape to the edge of the panel. I'm just going to flip this so it is easier for me to work with. And remember, do not stretch the zipper tape, okay? You can give this a press at this point. I think I'm going to do that. All right, I pressed and it made a difference. So I'm going to flip my lining panel back like so, and I am going to stitch. So I am done with that, and this is what we got right here. And I'm inside the pin. So it's now time for us to top stitch. I am going to head over to my sewing machine in order to top stitch, but before I do that, I am going to trim this area right here. I am going to just trim that slightly. You want to make sure that you do not cut your zipper tape at this point. And I am going to do the same to the other side. Let us head over to my sewing machine to top stitch. Okay, so I am back at my sewing machine. As you can see, I have changed the presser foot to a regular presser foot, and that is because I feel like this will guide me in order to get straighter stitches more. And you want to make sure that your top stitching thread matches your fabric. Okay, so I am going to start top stitching from this point here, from this point all the way to the other points. And I'm going to top stitch with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Feel free to use a Gina Magic. Oh, and I forgot to let you all know that I already hammered this point down. I'm going to top stitch all the way to this end. One side is done, I am going to do the same to the other side. So for the other side, I am going to start top stitching from this point all the way down. Feel free to use a Gina Magic at this point. Feel free to use a contour line. And you can decide to finish the ends of your zipper tape whichever way you like. I prefer to use a zipper end. So people, this is what I've got. This is what the back looks like, and this is what the front looks like. Hopefully your top stitching is better than mine. So now it's time for us to finish the end of our zipper tape. Personally, I like to use a zipper end or a zipper stopper. Is it called a zipper stopper? One of this is what I prefer to use because it is easy to install. You can screw it, and if yours doesn't come with screws like mine, you can use a super glue to glue it in place. You may want to trim off the length of the zipper tape. This is too long, so I am going to trim it off. So now that I've trimmed it off, I am going to go ahead and put in the zipper stopper. I hope you guys saw the way I put it in. So you just fold the back like so. You fold like so, and you insert through the opening right here. You put it in like so. You can decide to use a screw to screw it in. You want to make sure that the ends of the zipper do not show. You can also decide to use your lighter on this place so that the zipper tape stops spraying. This is it. This is what it looks like.